down. Read. Hi everybody, good afternoon. Our opening prayer. The energy of love is within us and is us. Whole and complete is the I am that we are. We awaken to the truth of our being. Will this be done within and without? May we come to recognize that we receive all that we give. We know that we have forgiven others when we forgive others of all grievances held within our minds. May we not be led into temptation by the voice of separation, but instead may we transcend all illusions. For ours is the power, love, and peace of Christ consciousness found within each of us, who is but the perfect extension of the one mind and heart that is shared by all, and is our birthright as the holy extension of love itself. Our affirmation of faith. We believe in one God, the author and energy of all life, whose love sustains the universe and all things found within it. Our 5 Christ principles. Number 1, there is only one energy in the universe. That energy is love at all times, active in everyone, everywhere. We are the divine energy of love, and that energy is found throughout the universe and in all things, whether seen or unseen. 3, we create our experiences by what we choose to think, feel, and believe, thereby establishing our responsibility for our own choices. 4, through opening our heart center, we connect with the energy of love and bring out the Christ within us. 5, we express our desire to be of service when we live and demonstrate Christ consciousness in all our affairs. Live, give, and love.
Thank you, Miss Bobby. Wow, and hello to everyone this March Sunday afternoon. I don't know about everybody else, but here in Jacksonville, it is absolutely gorgeous, right? I'd like to thank everyone again for being here, those who are here in person, those who are watching. Hi, Christopher, and those who will watch later this week. Here at Christ Church, we truly believe in living the truth of our being. Well, today I'm going to tell a little story. I hope you get something out of it. All right? I have a very dear friend who always allows me to share certain stories that she shares with me. And the one that I want her watching is to recognize what avoidance really is. So that's the topic today, is avoidance. Avoidance is one of the most insidious forms of defensiveness there is. Okay? To avoid means to shun, means to turn away. It's why it is a form of defensiveness. For to defend means to leave, to thwart off attack. To avoid means to leave. Well, by the way, to leave means to separate. The root of our problem, the belief that we have separated from God, which was the purpose of Jesus, to say no. The separation's done, over, gone. We don't have to think about it anymore. So now I'm going to tell a little story. And I want each and every one of you watching those who watch later, those who are here right now, I want you to think about all of the times that you avoid a situation, a person, a conversation that you might want to have, or maybe something that's happening within a conversation, and you detach so much that you separate yourself from it in defense. All right? Well, I know for sure that this person, this very close friend of mine, doesn't like certain tones of voice. If it appears that somebody's a little angry, this person shuts down. If it's over the telephone, this person hangs up on them. All right? We'll hit the call end button right on the phone. Well, that's avoidance. The reason's simple. We do not want to be in conflict. I understand that. But avoidance does not get us out of conflict. It puts us in more conflict. It drives the conflict deeper. All right? Because it is a defense mechanism. Avoidance is, again, a defense mechanism. And defenses attack what they were made to defend. So when we avoid something, someone, a conversation, we're literally attacking ourselves. We're separating rather than trying to find some commonality. So again, I hope this person is listening right now. Because rather than to avoid and get trapped in conflict, which only prolongs the anger, the suffering, the misery, and it just keeps going, because sooner or later, we usually have to be with that person again or talk to that person again. There is something that you can do in the moment rather than avoid, which will bring yourself right into peace. Because it comes from a place of peace and love, compassion for both yourself and the other person. If someone, let's say, is in a conversation with you and it's over the telephone or in person, it doesn't matter. If things begin to get heated, you know what you can do? You can say, hold on. It appears that things are becoming a little heated right now. It also appears that we're not hearing each other. So my suggestion is we take a break for an hour to a day, it doesn't matter, so that we both can look at what we're saying and we're wanting to say to each other, so that we can come from a place of love instead of anger and hatred. So I am going to hang up, but just know I care and we are going to talk again. I need this time for me. Then hang up. So you haven't hung up on the person who has no idea what the problem is, right? And by letting the person know what you are doing, it is a sign that you are living in integrity and authenticity. That you are compassionate, that you are loving and caring, and that you're not being defensive. It is all right to tell someone a conversation can come to an end. We can come back to the conversation when we both have calmed down, gone within, looked at it, come back into a place of peace, and then begin the conversation at some later time. That's all right. We have to think it. We have to be cognizant enough in the moment that we are capable of following through with our integrity, our authenticity, the compassion and love that we really have. The problem with avoidance is we shut down. So the moment we go into avoidance, we shut down. We're actually no longer listening to the other person. And I'm here to tell you right now, what do most of us want? Just to be heard. We just want to be heard. How many people do I have in coaching sessions? That's all I hear. They just want to be heard. And what angers them the most? When they believe they haven't been heard. Now, let's take it one step deeper. Ready? Most all conflict comes from the belief that you have been attacked in some form. 90% of all attack really isn't physical. It's verbal. It's through words. But words are not bullets, guys. Words aren't sticks or stones. Sticks, stones can break your bones. Bullets cut right through you. But a word. And how many calls do I get every week? Can you believe that this person said this to me? Well, yeah, I can. I can believe anything. But and I usually say, is all they did is just say some things that you didn't like, right? Yeah. And it was a tone and a voice. It's just a tone, and they're just words. Now, in order to make Miss Penny happy, I will say, we have to be very careful of what we say. Because we get back what we give away. If we're not careful with our words and how we are speaking to other people, remember, we teach each other how to treat us. So if we're verbally attacking and verbally offensive, we're going to get it back. Because that's how we've taught people to treat us. Jesus said something that I want everyone to hear. It's from the Bible. The story goes something like this in the Gospels. He and his disciples were hungry. And they picked up a loaf of bread and broke it off and passed it around to start eating. Which, by the way, was a cardinal sin in the Jewish tradition because they didn't wash their hands first. So therefore, because they touched the bread without cleaning their hands, the food that they were then putting in their mouth from uncleaned hands was considered defiled. And boy, did the Pharisees take note of it and went after Jesus. Said, look at what your disciples are doing. Why aren't you shaming them for it? Jesus said, really? Really, dudes? What you put in your mouth does not defile you. But what comes out of your mouth defiles you. Well, what is meant by the word defile? It means literally to make you unclean. To keep you out of what's called purity, guilt and shame. What comes out of your mouth, if it's defiling, is an attack. Always an attack. And that's what the Pharisees were doing to the disciples. They were verbally attacking Jesus because of what the disciples were doing. Which is why he told them, it's not what you put in your mouth, it's what comes out of your mouth that defiles you. Words are powerful, but here's how I want you to recognize what I mean by words are powerful. What you think becomes what you say. And what you say becomes how you act. And how you act becomes a habit. Careful about the words that come out of your mouth. They are creating your next moments. Is it any wonder if you say something that is in anger, the other person becomes angry? You created it. Your words coming out of your mouth created that. Literally in the next moment. You don't have to do that. Your words, the very words that come out of your mouth. For me, I listen very carefully. Can't see, so I have to listen. Your words tell me exactly where you are, what you believe to be true, what lives within you. If I hear a person coming at me in anger, then I know they believe that attack is justified. Excuse me, but is it? Is attack justified? Not ever. Not ever is attack justified. So your words in that moment are not justified. I have people say, well, I just need to clear what I'm feeling. No, the feeling is within you. If you're feeling angry, that's because you're having thoughts that revolve around anger. You don't have to say anything. You know the old saying, silence is golden? Yeah, well, it really is. Because when we keep our mouth closed, now we have a true choice. We have the choice to say something lovingly, compassionately, with care. There's a quote that goes around every so often on Facebook. I believe it's a meme. Supposedly said by Socrates, don't say it if it isn't true, if it isn't kind, and if it doesn't have a purpose. How many things do we say that serve no purpose? Do you think that just because you say something that you think doesn't really have a purpose, that there's not going to be a consequence for it? And I don't mean consequence in a negative way. I mean it as an effect. Our words have an effect. Always. Other people's words have an effect until you recognize you are the one responsible for how you feel. Their words didn't make you angry. You chose to become angry. That was your choice. How did you choose to become angry? You made a judgment. You blamed the other person for saying something you didn't want to hear. There's the judgment, there's the blame. You're now a victim, and victimhood always demands a defensive response. So we become angry. And you know what I call that? The Ferris wheel. Or better yet, the hamster wheel. We're just doing like this. Just spinning that wheel. But like all hamster wheels, you do realize you're not going anywhere. Because nothing's changing. Nothing changes, even though you think, if I say this right, I can get their attention. I can make them understand me. Really? You really think you can make somebody understand you? It doesn't work that way. Because you cannot change another person. They're responsible for changing themselves. Your words should be uplifting. That's all. If your words are not uplifting and are coming from a place of love, peace, and compassion, don't say it. Because you're only creating hell for yourself. But if your words are uplifting, then you have become the lighthouse. Now your light is shining. And now you can demonstrate the truth. You can demonstrate Christ consciousness. You can demonstrate the truth, the life, and the way. Because remember, your words become your actions and ultimately your habits. If your words are always of anger, your actions will always be angry, or anger-filled, and you will habitually be angry. But if your words are of peace and love, then your actions will be loving, caring, and compassionate. And you will now have a habit of being that love, that caring, that compassionate. You don't have to think about it. It becomes you. It's a habit. The point I'm trying to make, guys. Your words are both everything and nothing. They're everything when they come from a place of love. They're absolutely worthless if it comes from a place of conflict and anger. Nobody hears. Nobody's listening. Everybody shuts down because they take it personally. They begin to avoid. This is the insanity by not listening to our minds and our hearts, by living in the insanity that is the ego. It's the insanity of, I'm right, oh, by the way, you're wrong, let me tell you about it. Or how many of us have been in conversations where those may not be the words, but you know exactly that's what you're hearing. You're wrong, I'm right. We'll be at peace if you just tell me I'm right. Well, most people think those are fighting words. So the conflict begins. But seriously, they're words. Why would you let anybody's words or tone of voice disturb your peace? Your peace is pretty fragile if someone's words can tear down your peace. When Jesus spoke of a peace that passeth understanding, God's peace, does it matter? I've heard some people, just cuss God out. Do you think it disturbs him in any manner? No, not at all. Here's why. God doesn't listen to words. He doesn't hear words. God hears what? Feeling. By the way, do you recognize the only thing he hears from the heart, the feelings from the heart, is this? Ready? Love. That's all. He doesn't recognize anger because his peace is never shattered. That's what I'm trying to get all of you to recognize. Don't let your peace become shattered by the words of another. It's pointless. It's meaningless. But that does not hold you unaccountable for the things you say, because you are responsible for that. Because what you give away, you're gifting back to yourself. It's the law of love, the law of giving and receiving, all wrapped up in one. Your words are gifts. That's the take-home message. Your words are gifts. Or bullets. The only two things it can be. They can either be a gift, or they can be an arsenal of destruction. Let your words be uplifting. Let your words help raise someone up, not tear them down. Because if your words are uplifted, are uplifting, you will be uplifted. But if they are destructive, you're only hurting you. You're destroying your own peace. And peace is our greatest treasure once we understand what true peace is. All right? So, as I leave you this afternoon, I want you to think about what you're saying. Ask yourself the two things. Are my words uplifting, or are they destructive? And then simply remind yourself, whichever one it is the gift that you're giving right back to yourself. All right? So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Penny, who will take us into our meditation.
Thanks everyone for being with us today. And just move around and get relaxed and settled in. And let's take 3 breaths. Breathe in love. And breathe out peace. Breathe in love. And breathe out peace. Breathe in love. And breathe out peace. And in this reflection, let's do what Eddie has asked us to do in the lesson. As you breathe in, remember something loving that happened this week that lifted you up. Some words that someone gave you. Breathe in with gratitude. And as you breathe out, remember that thought that you might be swimming in your mind now, or some words that still sting from what someone said. And release that energy with your breath. Bless it to move on. So let's just sit here for just a few moments and breathe in uplifting memories from the week. And breathe out tensions and negativity that still swim through our mind. Breathe in love and breathe out stress. And as we go through our week, let's remember this week the words that we put into the world. Are they love or bullets? And as we hear the words coming back, let us know that in our defenselessness, our power lies, and we are at peace.
Thank you, Miss Penny. Well, guys, we've come to the end already. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to say this as we close. Our words can uplift us. Our words are a reflection of what lives within us. Listen to what you're saying. Learn what is living within you. If it isn't something that brings you peace, helps you extend love, get rid of it, because it's only hurting you. Remember, heaven and hell are both in our minds. Both. But we can only experience one at a time. So what I want you to recognize is, if you want to experience heaven, then speak heavenly. If you want to, experience hell, then speak in a destructive way. That's what you will experience. All right. If you would, silently say with me our closing prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, including words, and all that I receive. We give and receive in, through, and from love. Amen. Have a great one, guys.